on Win Media 98.9.
Good morning. You know what? Let me start over there. Let me come with the hype because today is Friday.
Finally.
Good morning. Welcome to Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. With your faves, me, and of course, I'm joined by the lovely Jade Gwen, CPL Martha Stewart Johnson, who is glowing today. It might be the shirt, Jade. It might be the shirt.
Thank you, friend.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I like them kind of earrings too. But guys, as I said before, it's Friday.
Here, no?
It's May 27th. And Fridays we usually link up with our friends in Antigua, so we're going to jump into that soon.
So they said that we could just jump right into it.
We could jump right into it?
Fact.
What?
Yeah, they said already, man.
No.
But yes, Azim, how are you?
I am actually doing really well. A bit tired. Got home really late last night.
Where was doing up all them ungodly hours?
I went out to work. And it is. This is time when people guys. But yeah, as we get that back up and going, I must say, looking back through the week, this week comparatively at least from my standpoint, I think we're settled squarely into campaign season. It hasn't been as topsy-turvy. We're in it, Jade. But I mean, we were having some crazy revelations the last few weeks.
We have been.
And it just has been really, really heavy in terms of revelations and things that are happening and how fast they're happening. It gets really, really difficult to keep up for a lot of people. If you're not fully dedicated to what's happening, it could definitely just seem a bit overwhelming. And I think that's happening to a lot of people.
Well, hopefully the people who are in charge of making things as transparent as possible does their job to their best abilities. But seems like we are ready over here in Antigua.
All right. So let's see. And they're gonna jump in.
They're still muted,
Okay.
but we will be on with them in 2.
Mute. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing, Darren?
I'm doing okay, thank you. I think we're doing relatively okay here in Antigua. Always interesting. Always interesting. Never a dull moment in this 268. How are things over in St. Kitts? And by the way, how are the levels? Are you all hearing me clearly?
Yeah,
Yes, we are.
today's look is sounding really good.
Okay, good. Excellent. So we don't have that issue to contend with. I'm happy about that. We're doing okay. And I suppose as we get into our conversation, because we're not traveling this Friday, we're staying close to home. But we certainly in the lead up to your general election. By the way, has the date been announced as yet? I don't think so. I would have probably heard by now.
No. Everybody taking bets. Picking dates. It's up for speculation. It seems that there's only one man who seems to know exactly when the election date is gonna be, and we all wait for him to let us in on the secret.
I have a fundamental problem with that. I think, Anyway, listeners pretty much know how I feel about that.
I think a lot of people.
Election dates.
Yeah.
Done with this one man controlling the whole story. I don't agree with that at all. I think it's a time that it is an idea or a method that has outlived its usefulness. That's my feeling. It's exciting and entertaining, but I don't know that it does well for proper running of a country. I just think it's wrong. The economies like certainty, stability, like certainty. I just don't like this uncertainty. I just don't like it. I just don't like it.
I must say I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly there.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Jade, what do you think about this out of back pocket into the front pocket choosing election dates?
I think if the politicians were really serious about it and this was a big issue to them, they would have changed it by now because it's been the same way for the last, how many years? Forever? Okay. So if they really wanted it changed, it would have been changed by now.
Yeah. Point taken. But I suppose we practice the Westminster system, and in the UK, the Prime Minister can call the election same way. I mean, if Boris is under a lot of pressure from his Tory MPs because of this Partygate scandal, he may decide, look, I'm going to call an election. He can, if he thinks it's politically advantageous for him. So I suppose that's what we've modeled it off of. But I quite like the American model. Come hell or high water, we go into the polls November, was it the first or second Tuesday in November? I think it's the first. And that's it. I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I like the certainty.
I think recognizing that we are relatively young democracies, there's obviously going to be some growing pains. We take example from those that come before us, but I do think as we have experience and as we move forward, we should be able to adapt and make changes that work based on the society that we are trying to build. So we have the Westminster system, there's the American system. If we see how these are some aspects of what we have play out to our detriment, then we have a responsibility to fix it. I think it's horrible when we continually fall into the same traps over and over and over again. It speaks to me that something really needs to change.
And it isn't, as I said, it's not a new thing. It's not like we just woke up and decided that the Prime Minister decides the election date. From a child, I've known that this is the same formula we use, and I'm 30 now, so I feel like that it's been plenty time for them to change it if they really want to change it.
But throughout the electoral process, the electoral rules and such, I think there's a lot of things that we recognize. Maybe like here, I don't know how it is in Antigua, Darren, but here it almost feels as though the election isn't done until we have 2 or 3 court cases coming out of the actual polling day.
Of course not.
I don't know if it's the same day.
That's the other thing.
But
And
crazy.
Not only
That's
that,
the other thing.
the fact that it takes them multiple hours to count this tiny island when we see bigger islands are
Antigua don't
finished.
have a problem, man. Come on.
Antigua don't have them problems?
Antigua don't have problems. Watch it. Election on the Friday. We don't get results till
You're
Monday.
being deliberately facetious.
Just
Yeah,
checking, just
depreciation.
checking.
There's definitely room for improvement. That's it.
Yes.
I remember that, what was it? The most recent election. There are two elections that took place recently in quote unquote first world countries. There was the re election of Emmanuel Macron, and there was Albacore, whatever his name is, the guy in Australia. And you didn't hear anything. I think by the time the polls were closed, maybe almost immediately, you knew who won. Almost immediately.
Yeah.
And this is France with multiple departments spanning several time zones. And we knew Emmanuel Macron before I went to sleep. I knew Emmanuel Macron. Of course, granted, France is several hours ahead, but the point is, the polls closed. They did their counting really quickly. I believe it's mostly electronic.
Yes.
And bam. And nobody questioned it. You didn't hear Marine Le Pen saying, no, she's going to court, challenging anything. Nor did the conservative folks in Australia. They accepted defeat and moved on, and that's how it ought to be. That's how it ought to be. It should be determined by the ballot box, by the voters, and not the courts. I think it started, this whole thing of challenging results started back. Remember when they had that Al Gore Bush thing some years ago in
Yes.
the United States? At least recollection. Where there was the whole popular vote, electoral vote thing in Florida, and hanging chads and all that, and the whole going to the Supreme Court, which of course is handpicked by mostly majority by the Republican Party in the United States. I just think it's wrong. I think
Yeah.
the people should have a say in something. They should have the final say in something, and not the courts.
What
I just
what I have been
that's
actually
just how.
what I've actually been like agitating for is that we implore more referendums. I think that it might have been less realistic in times past because of the vast resources it would have taken to get people out to polls to vote on whatever issue or topic. But now with the technology that's available to us, I mean, I've traveled to places where we've been working and in the middle of work, people telling me, "Oh, give me 2 minutes. They have to go and vote." They're going to vote and come back and continue working. Like, they literally take out the phone. They literally just take out the phone, vote, and whether or not to put down this roundabout, and they go back to do what they have to do.
Exactly.
But I do think that there's serious issues that we stall on, and a lot of times it's like, oh, the resources, the election, we have to take it to referendum. I'm like, yeah, send people an app. Like, give people an app.
Yeah.
You understand? You have your
people
voter
an app
ID
to
and you
vote
log
on,
in and
yeah.
you go vote.
And that way, when a lot of the decisions are made, people don't cuss about it and say, oh, they didn't consult us, and we don't agree to this, and they made these decisions behind our backs. Granted, they did elect them for these reasons. However, there's still people who...
We did not elect our dictators, and sometimes it feels like that's exactly what we did.
Well, some people did. Some people squarely feel like the decisions of the country should be in the hands of the politicians that they vote for.
Alone?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's why they vote for them. They don't want to have to deal with it.
Interesting.
Which there is some merit to that argument, because I remember when the United Progressive Party prided itself on a lot of consultation. Consult. Oftentimes the consultations were not as well supported as I think the party would have liked. They were criticized for being indecisive. I know the former Prime Minister, Dr. Spencer, was criticized, I think in large part unfairly, for being indecisive. I think I understand his style of leadership, and he really did want to build a national consensus. Broad tent, as he famously coined the phrase. But what happened? After 2 terms, they were out. And this current crew, when I asked the question about, hey, why have you consulted? Why you make this decision that's going to have such an impact without consulting? Oh, the people elected us to make decisions. That's why they elected us. And some would say it's hard to argue with that.
Well, I would argue that
people
they
don't
didn't.
people don't like.
I mean,
Yeah,
I would
go ahead,
argue, I would
Azim,
argue
sorry.
that if you ask most people, they wouldn't verbalize it that way. They wouldn't say we elected you to make decisions.
Of course not.
They'd say we elected you to represent us. And how can you represent us if you don't know what we want? So
This is also true.
yeah,
This is also true. I think there needs to be a meeting at the middle, some hybrid.
of course.
Yes, you have to lead. Yes, you have to take the initiative. And people do respond to effective leadership, and I do accept that. But at the same time, you don't want to be assuming what's on the minds of the people. And people's minds change on issues from time to time, and it's always good to get a pulse. So perhaps that technological solution is where it's at, because we literally live, sleep, even shower, because I think I made a call this morning and I have a feeling the person I called was in the shower. But they answer. I don't answer the phone in the shower. But the point is, the phone is always with us. The cell phone is ubiquitous. It's just everywhere. So maybe that's the solution. Once the security of these networks and protocols can be guaranteed guaranteed to be protected from operatives like my friend in the Kremlin, Mr. Putin, who is a master interfering, especially when he wants to cause trouble. But speaking about elections, have the candidates been announced?
There are still a few vacancies for a few parties in some of the constituencies. We did have the People's Action Movement announced 2 candidates last week. One in constituency number 3, which is Kervin Mylobox Freeman. He'll be the candidate for the People's Action Movement in that constituency. Then you have, well, listen, I don't want about it. Chesley Hamilton. Chesley Hamilton, who is going to be...
He said his name is Pamilton.
Oh, Pamilton. Yeah, he changed his name last night to Chesley O'Neill Pamilton.
Yes.
So let me give him his due respect and refer to him as he would like to be referred to. But yes, he is going to be the representative or the person who is going up for the People's Action Movement in constituency number 8. That means that the People's Action Movement have yet to name their candidates for constituency number 6 and constituency number 7. The People's Labour Party, which is the party headed by the Prime Minister, also has several announcements. There have been speculation in some cases,
Lots and lots.
as well as there's been some, I would say some public support given, but no official launch.
To be honest, we know who the candidates are. They just haven't told us officially.
They haven't officially launched them.
Do they have a full slate?
It seems like the idea is to run a full slate of candidates, but again, without an official launch, all this is speculation. So the Prime Minister did hint, however, that they will be launching their slate in the near future. Hopefully before election.
Hopefully.
But
well, for his sake, I hope so.
Yeah. So we wait to see
He
exactly.
had some comments to make post-dissolution of Parliament. Could you just share with our listeners, is there a clip that we could listen to, or you could just, break down what he had to say?
The comments made by the Prime Minister?
Yes.
Well, the Prime Minister, I think his first public comments were made, what day that was? It was Wednesday evening? Tuesday evening? Tuesday evening. There was there's a new talk show, interview style show that aired on Tuesday, and he was the featured guest. It seemed as though I didn't listen to most of it. Jed, we actually have a report.
Of course we do.
We have a report that speaks to what the conversation was, so we could probably share that with your listeners as well as ours.
I would be happy.
Yeah.
I would be happy if we could do that. We could certainly do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is actually from Loop. And the headline reads, Prime Minister speaks publicly for the first time since the dissolving in Parliament. Dr. Timothy Harris has expressed disappointment in his former partners in the Team Unity Coalition, whom he says chose to abandon their posts and undermine the great effort at national recovery. The St. Kitts Nevis Prime Minister was speaking in his first public interview since his national address, where he relieved 6 sitting ministers of Parliament of their duties, reassigned portfolios, and dissolved Parliament, prompting the need for fresh elections. And here's a quote: "They literally stopped showing up for work. Shame on them. They failed even to attend cabinet meetings, which are critical to an effective people-centered government. They, therefore, failed in their ministerial stewardship at cabinet, and they failed as representatives to be in cabinet to support matters which were of concern to the country generally and to their constituency particularly, he said. He also said they turned their backs to the promises made to the people in 2020 and have gone back to old party politics that have not served the country well. He said the political disruption is the last thing the nation needs at this time, and says it's a distraction really from the great challenge of national recovery. And that seemed to have been the general tone of the discussion that he had. And of course, he mentioned the fact that there has been some changes to the ministerial portfolios, and says that they have been working very hard to ensure the stability of the country. They have been working hard to ensure that we continue to deliver. So, he said the only option for stability in the country would therefore be to vote for his People's Labour Party candidates in the upcoming elections, begging the questions of who are these candidates, as there has been no announcement of PLP candidates for constituencies across St. Kitts apart from Harris and his PLP deputy Akil Byron Nisbet, whom both contested the election in 2020. So,
Okay.
yeah,
All right. That's the situation.
that's what it is. That's what it is.
Has Sean Richards given an explanation for why he wasn't in cabinet for, was it 90 days or something like that? There was a time frame given in the Prime Minister's address, and I think I recall 90 days or 3 months.
Yeah,
Has he provided a response, Sean Richards,
he
publicly?
he spoke about a particular situation in which his name ended up in a police statement, and he felt as though, the statements were not factual.
He also said that he feels like because of how talks fell out with the Prime Minister that he no longer felt the need to be a part of that. He said he was doing his work, however, he just was not attending cabinet.
Yeah, he said in terms of his ministerial duties and the duties to his constituents, he continued to work, he continued to show up for work, but cabinet meetings in particular, he did not deny the fact that he was absent from those particular meetings. I think how it's being phrased right now is that it's not that he wanted the statement that I've heard in certain publicly was that not so much that they wanted the Prime Minister to force anybody to change anything, but they just wanted the police to tell the truth. And in the absence of the truth, he is almost in protest. At least this is my interpretation. In protest of that, he felt the need to protest in that particular way. So,
Right.
yeah.
Let me tell you, we'll see how. I don't know how that's going to play with the voters in St. Kitts. You're not showing up for work, basically, because the Prime Minister is going to beat that drum. He has already started to beat that drum, and I suspect, I don't know if that was indeed my good friend Mr. Richards' response. I don't know. Well, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays with the voters. Let me put it that way.
I think there's a lot of things that are being said right now, Darren, that it's going to be interesting to see how it plays with the voters, because you must understand that they are in, for me, a particularly ticklish situation, having just publicly supported the Prime Minister and supported the PLP as part of the Team Unity Coalition. I think there are a lot of people who feel that although there may have been missteps, although there may have been things that could have been done better, that there was good done by the government. And so, how do you, on one hand, state that collaboration was not as it should be, but yet take credit for the good that was done? And so, these are the dynamics that I think they are trying to navigate. during this campaign, and so we'll see how it goes.
Let's see how it plays out. All right. Well, we have our own little, shall we say, drama here in Antigua. I don't think there's ever a time when there is no drama.
Well, we heard an update as well from Chuxi too, but go continue.
Chuxi? Oh, Chuxi. Yes, well, there's that. The whole dropping of the charges. And the opposition, both in Dominica and Antigua, calling on the administration to come clean and explain how did Chuxi end up in Dominica. It certainly sounds like the makings of a movie of some kind.
We are waiting patiently for the Netflix series to air.
Yes, man. Gets into Dominica. A Bombardier Global flies into Dominica, ostensibly at the behest of the Indian government to expatriate him to India. I mean, it's just the stuff of legend.
How was he charged with illegal entry? And but it seems everybody knew he was coming.
Right. Well, there you go. Yes. Top brass police. Listen, were there waiting. It was just amazing. So there's that. And then there is the St. Peter's constituency. That's in the northeast, shall we say, of Antigua. Asat Michael. Have you ever heard the name Asat Michael?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah, so Asat Michael took his party to court for not following its own constitution, and he won.
Mm-hmm.
And the judge said, basically, I'm no lawyer, evidently, but my understanding of what the judge said was, you didn't follow your own constitution. The candidate that you selected was not selected in accordance with your constitution. So therefore, you gotta rectify that. And so, Mr. Michael's rights were essentially breached. And so that's obviously an issue with which the Antigua-Barbuda Labour Party has to contend. Voices in support of the Labour Party, including, of course, the chief voice, the Prime Minister, said that Asat Michael is not running on his ticket. And so I suppose what the Labour Party will do, this is just my guess, that they're going to rectify the problem and make sure that their processes and procedures is in accordance with their constitution in terms of the selection of the candidate. That's basically it. In summary, I don't want to get into all the details, but that's basically it in summary. And so, of course, the question is now going to be, well, my question really, I would like to ask Asat Michael, really.
Can't we all just get along?
Why do you want to run with these people? Why? Well, subsumed in that question would be, I mean, if somebody don't want you, right? They don't want you to be, they don't want to invite you into their house. Where are you forcing yourself there for?
That is,
you understand what I'm saying?
That's legit.
They don't want you on their ticket. They made it publicly. The Prime Minister says, I don't want Asat Michael because of the allegations of impropriety and so on and so forth, and the investigation taking place in London and so on and so forth. Fine. Right. So he says, on that basis, I don't want you running on my ticket because I'm supposedly running a clean government. Right? That's the argument. Why? I mean, I don't like to be where I'm not wanted. You understand what I'm saying? So he must have his reason, and I would love to have the opportunity. I've invited him on the program. He's promised he'll find the time, hopefully sooner rather than later, to come on the program or come on the radio. If it's not my program, maybe I think he was slated to come on another program, but he may have fallen ill. But the point, that's what I was told. He may have fallen ill. So whether that was real ill or I don't think I want to talk right now ill. You know, that kind of way. Right. You know, that kind of way. And I'm not trying to make light. It may very well be that he was indeed ill. Indeed, and so, Mr. Michael, I when it comes to sickness, I don't like to joke around. But the speculation would be that it was, maybe he wasn't ready to talk. But that's, I think, the question on the minds of many political observers. Why is he forcing this issue? They don't want you. But say one, say two, Asat Michael is probably the man to beat in that constituency. Right. Right. So, even his opponents will say, beating Asat is almost mission impossible. It's almost like Robin Yearwood. So the question would be, Sir Robin Yearwood, pardon me, he's running in the St. Philip's North, sorry. Just I have to make sure I remember all my constituencies. But yeah, in terms of the Assat Michael situation, he really is going to be tough to beat because he's a very detailed campaigner. I happen to reside in his constituency, so I know that firsthand. He doesn't leave any stone unturned. So it's going to be tough to address the issue of Assat Michael. So the question is going to be if he's going to run as an independent, are the voters who historically voted for him for these last many terms, are they Assat Michael voters or are they Labour Party voters? You catch me?
Got you.
Right?
Got you.
That's going to be the question. Are they Assat Michael voters or Labour Party voters? Historically, the constituency has been one that has been a Labour Party constituency. But Assat Michael is, like I said, he's an effective campaigner. Some would say he engages in practices that are perhaps not totally, whatever.
He politics well. He politics well.
In terms of... He plays politics well, right? Let's leave it at that. And so therefore that might be the challenge. Okay, so there's that issue of Assat Michael.
Wow.
Then there is the water issue. The water issue continues. By the way, let me ask: is water an issue in St. Kitts?
Yes.
Do you guys get water on a regular basis?
There are some places in St. Kitts that have been struggling with their water issue.
Yep.
It seems as though, however, our issue may be a little different to some of the other Caribbean islands, where our issue stems from delivering the water. So distribution might be the issue as opposed to the fact that we may not have the water necessary. So there's been claims for generations to be working on it. And we wait.
We do wait. We indeed wait.
Yeah, we wait. But the water is a big issue. The United Progressive Party thinks that it has a baton or a bludgeon to hit the Labour Party over the head with. And they are milking it for all it's worth. Every time I speak to a UPP spokesperson, they raise the issue of water. And the government knows that it's on the defensive on this issue because, as I said last week, and I've said before, every cabinet note, there's the issue of water, what the government has done to address the water. The opposition thinks that they have been feckless, they have been irresponsible. They apparently got some new membranes, but then there's an issue of strainers that need to be replaced. And if the strainers need to be replaced, the membranes are not going to be as effective as if they had new strainers. So the water problem might still be a protracted one. So the United Progressive Party is not letting up. They say they have their people on the inside that is providing them with information. Of course, the Labour Party will say they're saboteurs, depending on who you ask. And the Prime Minister has already accused operatives of the UPP of sabotaging the water distribution situation. Yes. And the UPP responded, or at least let me not say that. Allies of the UPP, I suppose, responded by coming up with this meme of the Honorable Sir Robin Yearwood in a UPP hat. Because Robin Yearwood is the Minister of APOA. And he's been the Minister except for the 10 years that the UPP was in office. He's basically been with APOA for a generation, perhaps. He's just been there forever. A matter of fact, someone shared with me a clip of a Labour Party supporter calling in on a Labour Party aligned station, criticizing Sir Robin Yearwood. So he has certainly come in for some criticism about this water situation. And folks are saying, look, if the Prime Minister is saying that Londell Benjamin in St. John's Rural West is going to be replaced by a younger candidate on account of age, what happened to Sir Robin Yearwood? I've heard league ministers refer to him in a public place as a dinosaur. He didn't call his name, but we all knew who he was referring to. So I don't know. We'll certainly see how this all plays out. It'll certainly be interesting. But the water issue is an issue. And then yesterday there was a video dropped on social media of e-books which were purchased by the government under much controversy. The opposition thinks it was just an opportunity for the government to line pockets and waste money. And the e-books apparently were being disposed at the Cook's Dump. And the suggestion is that, taxpayers' money going to the dump. And the government released a statement quickly. I've never seen a statement come out so fast, at least not in recent times, explaining that the e-books have outlive their useful lives. I'm paraphrasing because I don't be almost near the end of our time here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, basically trying to defend and say, look, these weren't good. They've already been cannibalized for parts, for batteries, for memory cards, whatever. So therefore, we were just trying to dispose of them in an environmentally responsible way. The opposition spokesperson shot back this morning and said that $20,000 worth of cards or memory cards were retrieved. Of course, that's the opposition saying so. I don't know how they valued it or, if there was an independent, there's no independent anything. So it's the opposition saying that $20,000 worth of memory cards were retrieved from the same site, so the government cannot be trusted. They lie. They're just trying to scramble. And then there's the issue of fire trucks. We've been short of fire trucks.
Yeah.
A fire truck landed here, and the accusation is the fire truck is not new. And I have it on reasonably good information based on someone who, we have our sources, who says, Darren, no, the fire trucks aren't new. And so, of course, the opposition is, you bet your bottom dollar, they are going to...
They want fresh things. We want fresh things.
Exactly. And of course, I, as the independent, right, who does not have allegiance to either of them, will ask myself the question, why all these unforced errors? You go dump ebooks. You don't know how you already know the opposition is out there.
They're waiting for that.
Waiting. You got dump ebooks now. And the ebook issue was one of tremendous controversy. Yeah, I will tell you. Up to now, the opposition still bludgeons them over the head with this issue. And then you go get an old fire truck. If indeed, I haven't seen the fire truck myself. I haven't spoken to the fire chief.
It might just have about a cool 1,000 miles on it, nothing too tense.
Maybe. But if indeed those fire trucks are not new, I cannot understand. I can't make this stuff
Catch
up.
them on a deal, Darren. We get them on a
Why they
deal.
would- What?
We get them on a
Got
deal.
them on a deal? Well, I'd love to get the I'd love to get the explanation. I'd love to ask them for the explanation on this program, but we'll see how that plays out. But this is what I call an unforced error, quite frankly. I think these are unforced errors.
Especially so close to election.
The longer it takes for them to call it, you see, they're in a conundrum. If they call the election now, they might be in trouble because Tory season is off, water is still not solved. It's probably not the best time to call the election. Yeah?
Yeah.
If they wait longer, the more errors are committed. Like this. Yeah? So, and this is the beauty about being independent. I can call everybody out.
Right.
I get cuts from both sides.
Yeah,
so
man.
the party people are probably not happy with me right now, but I don't know that I give a particular damn. And I certainly don't give a particular damn on the United because they, whenever I press the opposition spokespersons, they say I'm a mouthpiece and I'm an apologist for the regime, but they never hear the other side.
Yeah. Darren, I can say, just from me being in the show with you, you are an equal opportunity basher.
Indeed.
And I must respect that.
All right. Well, I thank you. I've heard that. Anyway, I gotta go because we have the president of the Calypso Association who's going to be on shortly to
Kaiso.
tell us about the changes in. Yes, Kaiso. I haven't heard any Calypso music so far, to be honest. You heard any new Calypsos, Illis? You're in the music business. You heard any new Calypso? Oh, Dave has. Oh, apparently the station manager has heard some new Calypso.
Nice.
One or two. Maybe. But anyway, the president is going to be joining me momentarily, and I am looking forward to these the conversation with him. And I'm assuming, I don't know if y'all want to stay for that one, but I'm assuming that you got to go as well.
Yeah, we're going to have to dip out and take our leave. We have a lot to discuss right here on Island Tea today, so definitely. But this has been an amazing and quite enlightening conversation. Hopefully you get some answers to your fire truck conundrum.
Yeah. I don't understand that. I can't wrap my mind around that fire truck story. Anyway, have a good one. Have a pleasant weekend and be safe and God bless.
All right,
You
same
as
to you,
well,
man,
you
and
as well.
all your listeners, man.
And hello to everyone in St. Kitts, all my friends in St. Kitts.
They say you need to come. They say every week you come on the air, come say, hey, my friends in St. Kitts, they need to come.
Yeah, I do. I do. Long and short, I do. I'll find some reason sometime soon. I will.
Alright, man.
We need maybe a regional link up with me and St. Kitts. That would be cool.
Oh,
Indeed,
awesome.
indeed.
All right.
All right, man. Well,
All right.
take care. Yeah, Jay, that was this week's edition of Cross Caribbean Link Up. I always look forward to these conversations.
Of course, it's interesting to see that not only our country is falling apart, but theirs is as well. I love it. I love it. It makes me feel better.
Oh, boy. Yes. Other people's misery makes you feel so much better about your own, doesn't it?
Equal.
Mm.
Equality for all.
You are not alone.
Speaking of misery, though, it is what?
Tea time.
Yes. So some people have been experiencing the out of a job bug.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What's happening? What's going on here?
Well, let me just pull that up for you.
Pull it up, because I've been hearing about some issues with
I hear they're clearing some boards.
I hear all kind of things, you know.
Some boards are being reshuffled and
What?
cleared. Yeah, man.
Excuse me? What I mean, like checkers and so?
Nobody.
Chess?
Not them type. Not them type at all. A widely circulated image suggests that the director of St. Kitts Urban Development Corporation Limited has been terminated.
As in sent home? Axed?
Yes. An image of a letter making the rounds on social media suggested that Mr. Stephen Duggins has been removed as the director of the St. Kitts Urban Development Corporation Limited. The letter reads, St. Kitts Urban Development Corporation Limited has resolved by ordinary resolution pursuant to Article 93, in brackets E, of the Articles of Association of the Company, that your office as a director of the company is vacated with immediate effect from today, 25th May 2022.
Not even a little one-to-one?
Immediately.
Wow.
The government of the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis is the sole shareholder of the company, and as the member of cabinet charged with responsibility for Port Zante, I wish to thank you for your service.
It was suggested that there is no minister in charge of Port Zante.
That's what I heard yesterday.
But there must be.
Listen, somebody got to be running down there. He ain't running himself.
Yeah, but they was running it, but somebody had to put them there.
So who put them there?
So who put them there probably could take them out.
But suppose who put them there don't get out.
No, it don't matter. It's the office. It don't
Okay,
matter.
well,
It don't
see,
matter.
the office. You know. Well, this was signed by the Honorable Wendy Phipps, Senator and Minister responsible for international trade, commerce, consumer affairs, labor, tourism, transports, and ports.
Well, it does say Port Zante, so if she's in charge of ports, maybe.
It fall under you. The leaked letter is the latest in what seems to be a string of dismissals, especially following the confirmed dismissal of former Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. Joseph Liebert Sr.
Hey, I missed that there.
You did?
I missed that there.
I thought we talked about that.
No.
Yeah, bye. As a member of the Electoral Commission for St. Kitts and Nevis.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I know we talk about this.
Okay.
A notable Facebook blogger purported that at least 2 individuals from the St. Christopher and Seaport Authority Board has been fired. However, these claims are unsubstantiated. When we'll provide more as information becomes available. Yeah, man, the fire up there too. Some people from Scaspa gone into. And I heard on the streets, Skelec next.
What the street saying? Skelec?
Listen, I can't put nothing past nobody right now.
No, but are people surprised though?
Yeah. What do you mean?
What? Let me ask you a question. Why do you think this is happening?
I can't give me real answer. I can't give me real answer, friend.
Hold on.
For me too.
Give me some background music. Yeah. I want.
No.
I want.
Nah.
No,
I
because
just read lips on this show. I can't do that.
we got things for that. Yeah. But just kind of like the pixelated lips. But no, I mean, I don't think anybody should be surprised. Whether or not you believe that it's righteous or prudent, right, wrong, whatever word you use to describe the action in your mind, I don't think you should be surprised. Jade, we're going down to election time. We come in here almost every day and talk about how when it comes to election time, things start to happen.
Yeah, that's one of them.
No. I mean things that people might contend they would have liked to see happen
Long time.
long time. But the truth is, in this case, I don't think this. I see people saying that, but I don't think you can really make the argument here. Like election was 2 years ago, so the things that
But it's
should
a-
the
it's
things
a-
that might be happening now probably should have been happening now. It's just that election coming, so yeah, you give everything a speed up.
Also, we have, by the way, for you guys listening, today, right after ILNT at 10 o'clock, so we have to wrap up promptly today, we have a press conference by the Honorable Wendy Phillip.
When the Phipps.
Wendy Phipps, oh, sorry. Yes, so I guess she will, I'm not sure what it's about, but maybe she will explain why all
Maybe
these
she will.
people
Maybe she'll
got
come and
fired.
tell us that nobody has been. It's all rumors. Who knows? It's all love around here.
All love.
What I'm saying, Jade, is that at this point we can expect to see things happening. What those things are, I don't know.
That's
No.
all fine and dandy, you know.
No,
but
no,
the
listen.
optics look funny.
No, Jade, it doesn't. That's the whole point. That's the whole point I'm trying to
You're
make.
trying to tell me that all these people getting fired right now and look funny.
Jade,
One time.
What
I
I'm-
could have understand if they spread it out. Like if a man get fired
Jade,
in
listen,
January.
let me
and
finish the talk now.
Go ahead, do you think?
I'm saying it out for like 10 minutes now. If we expect that things will happen, don't you think that it would be in the best interest of the people in charge to have people in position who will be able to facilitate these things and not slow it up, stall it, undermine it, etc., etc., etc. I don't think anybody should be surprised.
I mean, saying it's surprised, I'm just saying it look funny.
If you're not surprised, I mean, you expect it. So you can't really look like, what's the funniness?
Redman.
That's what I'm saying. What the funniness is.
How everybody getting fired currently?
When you could ensure, that's the only way to ensure that he can get do what he want to do.
Who do that?
Whoever in charge there.
Oh.
I mean, of course, people are going to say, I've heard people make the arguments that, for instance, new projects and so shouldn't be started during, once the parliament is dissolved and election is on the way, that you should limit public spending once election is on the way and these kind of things. No, the thing for me is a lot of things that we're saying, we need to agitate and demand that these things go into legislation. I mean, that's part of the issue. We keep having these issues over and over and over again. And like Jade mentioned this morning earlier, the truth is that the people who have the ability to make the changes have no political will to make the changes because
Bruh.
it works in their favor.
You
So
can't tell me y'all been trying to change things for 30 plus years because
They have not.
I am 30, which means these things happening before I even was a thought. And y'all trying to convince big people that y'all been trying to change it?
so
Okay.
So, but what I'm saying is, like, we could start out here and say, oh, such and such shouldn't happen, and such shouldn't happen, and thing. Well, if that's how you feel, then we need to make these things, we need to agitate for these things and make loud the issues, so that the persons who are in position to change it, if they don't change it, we hold them accountable. But a lot of times, you know what the issue is to Jade?
I had a thought and it just gone.
You know what the issue is to?
Damn.
And I'm using the word issue a lot. But anyway, the things that we find important are the things that the politicians tell us, So we end up holding them accountable based on the things they said, as we should.
And yeah.
As we should. But the issues a lot of times, some things might get left out. Some things might not be as... And the funny thing is, we come in here and we interview candidates, especially within the last 2-3 weeks. We've been speaking a lot to people within the political class. There's certain topics that when we start talking to them, the fire will go out of the voice when they start. And they'll probably answer the right way, but the fire in the voice does kind of die down.
Yeah, man. I just want
The
everything.
fire in the voice does kind of, like, yeah. The answer to the question, yeah, but you could tell that ain't one of them talking points that we are talking about in the meeting last night before coming.
Not at all.
You understand? But a lot of times, the things that we are most vocal about are the things that we are told that we should care about.
Yep.
Right? And so I believe that if that is the dynamic that exists, then of course there are going to be some things that slip through the cracks. Because the people that are telling us, hey, these are the things that you should think are important, sometimes their interests and our interests might not always align totally. So there's going to be some things that slip through the cracks. And then that is how we see things like this continue to happen. And that's why I say sometimes we need these problems and things, these little hiccups in democracy, you know. Bear in mind that when we start looking at growing pains for democracies, these things that we're having, as terrifying as they might seem, when we start looking at other democracies and how they dealt with certain things, at least we ain't got a civil war.
At least.
Right? At least we ain't got like half the country, well, who knows? Because they
We
come like
still
Nevis, might invade.
We still really, we can't say it.
Yeah, we early still. But what I'm saying is that we the people need to take these situations that happen now and agitate for things to be put in place to avoid them repeating themselves.
You know,
right?
You know
and
what
I don't think we do that. Instead, we start talking about who wasn't given, like, we start talking about the personal issues. We start talking about the generic issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course, we need a new hospital. Yes, of course, we need improvements to the sporting infrastructure. Yes, of course, the entertainers have been suffering forever. Yes,
and ever.
yes. And those things are necessary. But also, we need to put things in place that stop us from getting back here.
You know, I find so funny. It seems like it was surprising to the politicians that this would happen. And I don't know why that would be when the politicians have always known that the power of elections fall in their lap.
You want me to tell you what I think? You want me to tell you what I really think, Jade?
Please.
In terms of the surprise, I believe that, or maybe not even like they believe, because I could only go based on what they have themselves have said.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying that they had gotten information from learned individuals that what they had requested in the letter sent to the Governor General was possible. So perhaps the hope was that by sending the letter to the Governor General would have given what they are now getting, the letters, to the Prime Minister. And then, you know, a new Prime Minister would have been installed, right? So perhaps that's what the hope was.
Yeah,
However, we have also spoken to several we've spoken to both leaders of the parties outside the PLP that were part of the unity thing, and they said they had expected that this was a possibility.
That is why I am so confused. Like, how are you shocked? If you, like, why would you be shocked that this is the outcome? Like, we are here now.
You know what is, I think you're having trouble with, Jade. They have said, at least to us, we have asked this exact question, here right here on the show, to the leaders of the party about, hey, y'all must kind of see this coming. And the answer was yes, right? But I think what happens to us now is that we feel, at least from looking on the outside, that you aren't totally prepared for where we're at.
As in, I don't know. I don't know who one my rep them is.
Yeah.
I can't tell you who's supposed to be the candidate for PLP up to now. But y'all want me vote in 2 months for somebody that I don't know about. A total stranger. Y'all want me to put my trust in a total stranger.
But obviously, it might not be a stranger. You just don't know that's the person around. I don't believe it'll be a total stranger. Hopefully it'll be somebody who is well recognized and respected in the community.
I beg your hush. God, what you please telling me? I don't know what that says you're going to tell me this morning.
But that's true. You would want to believe in somebody who well
want
respected.
to believe and reality is two different things, you know.
Yes, Jade, but that's what I'm saying. I would want to believe.
No problem, friend.
You really think
Wait, well respected
and recognized. Now let's go with recognized.
Yeah, I feel like we should stick with
recognized. 1 R, not the double R.
Because the well respected part might not come, eh?
I don't know. You just say once that there's not well respected people in your constituency, number one?
Yes.
Okay.
However, those are the people I've been seeing as proposed candidates.
Oh. So there's...
I know 2 of them.
So there's people.
And I'm
there's-
fine with two of them.
Mhm.
But one of them might look a little funny in the light.
Oh.
But I hear it. He again.
He.
A lot of hope. Please, I don't do that. Please don't do that.
Call up your PLP Connects. Tell them Lord Natty. Call up your PLP Connects. You ain't got none. Apparently they have 7,000 members, so you must know one.
I have to know one.
You have to know one, man.
Let's take some calls here because
take some
you tried to set me up.
We're having fun this morning. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up? Lost that one. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
We lost that one
You
too.
know, that person was probably the person running the one.
No, call back, man.
that
Call
might have
back and
been-
come chat.
That might have been the person you ain't got faith in.
I don't know why that does do so. I mean, again, I'm not politically affiliated, but right now we have a rep that look like he doing some good things. I hope all of them, whoever the next rep, or if there is a next rep, I hope they follow suit because the ones before.
Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Dr. Mojo, morning.
Morning.
Hey, don't you think that part of the reason why it appears as though these parties are not ready is because of a promise that was made to not field candidates in constituencies where they were running before, and that the perception of that also warrants some kind of honor. In other words, had it been that as soon as this motion was filed, PLP decides, okay, we already have our candidates, then it can be, you see, they was planning this all the time. Same could be said for PAM. So do you think that could possibly be why there is that perception that they're not ready? What are your thoughts? And I'll listen up here.
All right. Thanks a lot.
To be honest, I would have preferred that.
Do you prefer that?
Yeah, because
Because you're the one who got to vote. But I think what Inoita is asking is, would that promise to not field candidates like automatically kind of put them in this position because they wouldn't. Perhaps that is the case, Inoite. My problem with that is that should not have been the case. Reason being, I have been one who has been critical of the arguments saying that about this agreement. Like, oh, you said you weren't going to field people in this constituency, but we hearing you got people walking around. We hear you have you're going to people's homes and that kind of thing and thing. My argument to that is, well, why you ain't had people walking around to people's homes? What I'm saying is that, and bear in mind that I am one of the persons who believe that, one, we should have a coalition government of all the parties. Also, I believe that political parties should really look into fielding candidates in all 11 constituencies, right? I guess say that again. I believe that parties should look into running candidates in all 11 constituencies. Now, that being said, what I believe is, yes, we can have a coalition and whatever where we decide that our party will not run a candidate in this particular constituency. That does not mean that the party should not continually be active in that constituency, bearing in mind that you have supporters in that constituency. So, whether or not we believe that PAM, Labour, PLP, whoever has a chance to win, because that's one of the other things. Sometimes constituencies get branded as certain things, and I believe when that happens, there may be a tendency for parties to not put as much effort into those constituencies. I think that is wrong.
Somebody complains.
I think that is wrong, right? So whether that is the issue, whether it is that you're in a coalition with somebody and you're not feeling a candidate there, I don't think that should matter. I believe that if you are interested in representing the people, you must understand the plight, the thoughts, the concerns, the suggestions of people from all constituencies. Yes, and of course, like I said, you have people there, whether you're running a candidate or not. They need to feel you, they need to touch you, you need to be in touch with those people. Those people are the ones who've been there taking licks. You can imagine the PAM people them in six over for 20 years back. You can't So if that is the case in Noita, then I think that is sad. However, I think PLP in this case is a little different because they are a new party. This is what going to be the third election they're going into.
Yeah, I found that so strange that was a complaint that there are literal reps in communities from each party. Like, I would have thought this would have been the norm.
Well, I think what it is, Jade, is that the idea is that they have been campaigning. So if you're not running a candidate, why are you presenting a potential candidate?
The coverage is like this. This is exactly why.
And then the question for me is this, Jade, and I mean, I don't. This. Okay, I'm going on a dangerous road now. I could tell you now the PAM people ain't gonna like me. But
you think they like you?
Yeah, I got a lot of PAM friends. Come on.
Okay, just making sure.
No, come on. But what I'm saying is this: it makes me question if it is that, because if you're saying that this whole let us get where we are now was strategic, then it means that you may have thought that now is the best time for elections to be called, for whatever reason. If one of those reasons is you felt that PLP was gaining momentum, which based on the arguments that, oh, you're running candidates and bam, 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 to me it's like, okay, yeah, at least you're aware that is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it that the party that has been around since what? I think they were started in the 80s?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. But why is it that you aren't in a position to combat that? So it's like, oh, so these people ramping up efforts in these communities. Well, guys, that doesn't look good. We probably need to start putting some work here. Mm-hmm. We need to start rallying our people, and we need to start touching the people to ensure that whichever direction this goes, that we are prepared for all these eventualities.
Yeah.
Right? That might have been the way to think that. And if it was that they didn't see that as possible, then that in itself is cause for question. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, what is the state of the party then? Mm-hmm. Right? I think the party, for instance, PLP, and you might say PLP might be using underhanded tactics and whatever, because that is one of the things that
politics
has been rumored and whatever. But PLP is a new party. You're a party that has been around for however much years. Like, I would want to believe that if that is the case, you should be in a position to combat that type of that kind of happenings in the constituencies.
Well, one of our PAM listeners said to tell Azem is the underhanded way in which it was done.
Yes, no, that's what I'm saying. So once you recognize the underhanded way in which it was done, mm-hmm. is it that the party felt that it was not in a position to combat that? Mm-hmm. Which, if that is the case, I think that is a sad reality. And if that was not the case and it was not a consideration, then yes, then that means that you would have decided that we're going into election. No, because like we said, once you started down this road, election was a very likely outcome. Mm-hmm. So you had to know, well, hey, this is where we make these moves, guys, we probably gonna end up here. And so you would have had to prepare for that eventuality as well. Mm-hmm. So it depends on what you believe to be true, right? Of course, I don't think we'll ever fully understand what would have been happening in the strategy meetings of any of these parties, mm-hmm. right? We'll get some.
But why though? If you want to, that's what I don't understand. If you want to convince us.
No, Jade, strategy different, Jade. When they're having their high-powered meetings in the executive, and so don't feel that you're going to know all what's going on there and all who has said what. And I don't expect that.
But what I don't expect is for y'all to tell us outright what is the issue and why we need because at the end of the day, it's only us who fixes it.
But you don't think at least from their perspective they feel that they have been doing that? I think they believe they've been doing that.
It's clear that they believe that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
However,
you're still
everybody
confused. You're still confused.
Is saying we don't understand what's happening.
Yeah. I think what it is that when you come to the people with your reasonings, gripes, concerns, explanations, etc., if there is any holes, discrepancies, contradictions, then people start to question everything. People are gonna start to be like, but wait, that ain't really lining up with what they say here, and I ain't really seeing how that makes sense. I don't really feel as though that wants the response. Like, those are the kinds of feelings I'm getting back from people. But it's not that the parties ain't coming out and saying, hey, this is why we do this. I just think people may not fully be swallowing the pill. So we're gonna see.
Well, I got 2 months.
And I think that is where most people are at. Most people are just like, yo, I just want this thing done. I just want this. As much as people are anxious about the outcome, and I do believe that I keep saying the anxiety comes because I don't think there are a lot of people who feel they can clearly predict the outcome of the next election.
Everybody just win one. Everybody just give one rep. I will just settle with that. Everybody put in one rep. How much parties you got?
No.
We ain't got enough now?
No, right? And everybody can give like 2 because CC man so ain't running in. I mean, they only got 3 over there.
Yeah.
So we ain't got to.
We should just put the names in a bag and just pull.
I keep saying what I think the nation needs now is a coalition of all the parties where all the parties are represented. All. Don't leave out none. I ain't saying everybody got to be in there. I'm saying we need representation from all. Like, you see, one of the things for me is I believe that the next generation, when we look back at no, and this is just based on me looking at past situations in other countries with older democracies than ours, right? And you start looking back at the political happenings, right? The things that tend to live on and tend to be the things that we read about, learn from, etc., are the things that have long-lasting systemic changes, right? So when we look back at this particular time in 20, 40 years, I don't think the discussion gonna be, and I remember when Shawnee went Parliament for 90 days and Dougie fired them and then they fire everybody on the board. I don't think that's gonna be the discussion.
No, they probably ain't remember that.
I don't think that is not going to be the discussion. It doesn't make it any less true. It didn't mean it didn't happen. But I think when we look back at this particular time, I think it's going to really speak to, one, how does this affect the political tribalism that we've experienced in our democracy? I think it's going to affect, and then of course how the governments that come out of this particular time govern. So of course, right now, yes, we remember by less than 2 years after election, these men jump back in and come to us again with these conversations. But how does that play into this the entire system and the culture of the people as it relates to election? So we're gonna see. I might not be around, but I mean, just looking at what I've seen in other democracies, I think that's kind of where we're going. And I'm very hopeful that this particular time does something. As much as this right now is terrible and it's politically it's not a good place to be. I'm hoping that the silver lining is that it does undermine some of the tribalism that we've had by showing the politicians that you don't have the same level of control that your predecessors might have had. Good morning, caller. You're live on LNT. What's up? Morning, caller. That's a caller. So that's my hope, Jade. That's my hope. I mean, like short term, I hope the election come. I hope it's peaceful, and I hope coming out of that, we form a government and we could continue with the development of the country overall. But we'll see. Good morning, caller. You're live on LNT. What's up?
Hello. Good morning.
Morning.
I'm looking at a cup of tea.
Well, you come to the right place.
All right. In history, I think at this moment, this will be the turning point when agriculture become the focus, the forefront of the economy. I think this coming out of this election that is what you're going to see. This election is going to be who really serious about agriculture and moving agriculture forward. With the Palm Party in constituency number 6, Palm had a presence in number 6 up to 2019.
I could have swear you're going to say you're running here. I could have swear you're about to make your announcement live on LNT.
That announcement going to come shortly.
Okay.
Palm had a presence there up until 2019. And then based on the arrangement they had with the other party, they agreed to give them constituency number 6 to field a candidate. So it's all about trust.
But
what happened?
I'll tell you something. The point I'm making is I don't believe that the political party's interest in constituencies should revolve around a candidate.
Well, I agree with you with that, but that's the reason why I'm saying this. Because after 2015 election, the Palm had a community council put in place in constituency number 6.
Okay.
But then that council was stifled. It was stifled for the reason that ended up in 2020. You understand? This thing, the word trust is a very important thing, you know. When you hear people talking about the lack of trust, it's a serious thing. That council was stifled, it was doing things, and then some people come and they keep pushing, and because they had certain power, they tend to get their way. And who suffered from that? It was the constituents of number 6. Because things was happening in number 6 when the PAM had the council in place. Things was happening for the people. So
well, hopefully we see a return. Hopefully we see a return to that.
When things like that happen.
Yeah, but hopefully we see a return to that, man. I'm sure that is part in the plan.
I'm telling you that constituency 6 will be in good hands. Constituency 6 will be in good hands. It's going to be a shocking announcement soon.
Well, who hands it going to be in?
Who
hands it going to be in?
Well, I think history is in the making, you know.
That's the name of somebody?
I think history is in the making.
You seem like you're in the know, you know.
Yeah, you seem like you got things on your chest, but just tell us.
You seem like you're in the know.
I'm telling you, the vibes in constituency 6 is a historic one.
Well, share the historic vibes with us. That's all we're telling you.
You know, it has to tune.
It's only me and Jade and about 10,000 other people listening.
Yeah, small number.
Yeah. So Ireland, you don't get the scope, man. You're gonna be right up front.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, Jade. I just saying that I believe that the party's interest in the constituencies should not revolve around a candidate. If that had been the case, if those organizations, if those people and things, well, it would have created a jump off for what we are now seeing, right? You would have probably seen candidates coming out of those actions, those community movements, etc. That's where you would have pulled your candidates from. You understand? So if those grassroots in the community organizations are strong, then I think the party's presence in the community, of course, is stronger. So perhaps that is something that the parties really need to continue to build on. And that's the thing. Even if you're going to a coalition, I don't believe that means the party stops working. You know. As a matter of fact, it might mean you just need to work more.
Right. Well, I mean, I hope they learn from this. I don't think everything is sweet. Not because you're in a partnership means everything is sweet.
Yeah, but Jade, like I said, I believe that if things, we're at a crossroads, Jade, and the politicians and the party fanatics might not like it, but we're at a crossroads. We're at a crossroads where, depending on how the electorate moves in this election, we could, and the decisions made by the politicians themselves, we could do a lot to set up the country for years to come in success. If I believe, and this is personal, if we are able to create a situation where there is some recognition that people out here blindly voting for color and for hand, hat, hammer, saw.
What? How
Right?
many of them there? Vibes.
Right?
I feel like you missed one though.
Yeah, I can't remember why not you think me.
I'm gonna tell you now. Okay.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that we're at a crossroads. It's either we could cement ourselves even further into political tribalism and the separation and division among the electorate, or
Is that a battle?
or
Is that a battle?
a battle, or we can move away from that to a situation where we make the politicians recognize the only way to secure my vote or to lose my vote is based on the work that you've done in or the promises that you make to us, speaking to when you get the opportunity to go in. That like I am not a this, I am not a PAM, I am not a Labour, I am not a PLP, I am not a CCM, I am not a NRP. I am a citizen of St. Kitts Nevis. What you put in there, do your job. If you ain't do your job, we find somebody else who gonna do it. Like this is we're at the crossroads, and I don't think, of course, the politicians ain't gonna phrase it to us that way. They're gonna phrase it to us like, give us the mandate and give us all 8, and give us all 3.
That's a good one.
You don't even have one. Hey, trademark. I got my GN letter, see. And they tell me, use it, man. Use it. God, use it.
You say,
But give us the mandate. Give us all 8.
Aha, vibes.
But what I'm saying is, the politicians aren't going to phrase it like that to us. They're going to say, come give us all the support. Give us all, let us form a government, boom, boom, boom. And okay, I understand what you're saying. But at the same time, the truth is, maybe, you know what it is? Maybe we need that other voice. Maybe we need that other voice that is loud and respected, that gives us the alternative and say, look, you don't have to blindly vote for anybody. You don't, like, you look at the options that are placed before you by these parties in your constituency. Make a decision based on who you believe. Prime Minister, whoever it is get elected, they're going to figure it out. Stop fooling yourself like you're voting for Prime Minister. They're going to decide that we've had a Prime Minister that has had the fewest seats in the coalition. So stop fooling yourself.
Clearly, it's not.
Stop fooling yourself into thinking you somehow have to vote based on party allegiance, so this particular person could be Prime Minister.
No, that's not.
That ain't how it works.
At all.
Look at the options available to you. Make your decisions based on that.
Yeah,
and
stop follow family and legacy and whatever else y'all used to be voting
and
on.
all are you, and not only that, that goes along with the fact that we need to start respecting people's decision. I don't see families break up because one person or this person vote for the party that the family ain't vote for. Them is nonsense.
Big time.
Respect.
You can't tell me who to vote for. That is my right.
Respect people's. No, they ain't that. They can't tell you who to vote for, but they want to be vexed with you for it.
How? That is my right.
Respect people's decision.
Not only that, when you vote for somebody else now, remember what we do for you. You are grateful how you could vote for somebody else.
Well, that's be putting there to do it. Good morning, caller. You're live on LNT. What's up? Let's see if we get this one quick. Good morning, caller. You're live on LNT.
Good morning, son and daughter.
Morning.
And it's so true, okay? You got people just want to vex with you because you decide, okay, I'm going with PAM, I'm going with PLP, I'm going with CCM, whatever. People must understand that we 3 parties was together. And if they split up, everybody ain't going to go with PAM and PLP. Everybody going to go to separate ways. So people just want to vex with you and interfere with you. And I'm begging people to done with this nonsense. Because me and you had the same boyfriend, you're going to war with me. If I decide I'm going to make up in my mind to vote for PAM or PLP, that is my right. Okay? I have a right to do that.
Indeed.
And I hear you say something that Pam going with you, but I want to tell you, mind the argue on the pelly, say, because when you talk to the Prime Minister, you get upset. And when you talk again, you ain't get what you want.
Oh, that's how we
Every
go.
time you support, that's how we go. You ain't get when you want when you talk again. But when you talk to them, you add. So mind the argue to the pellis and say, you're getting what you want, okay?
All right.
So, I just telling people, just leave people alone. The people in St. Kitts and Nevis don't have a taste of Timothy. And if that's the way they want to go, wait till election and we're going to see it work out. And to me, I don't think Timothy is like how people saying, oh, they're fighting him out. Everybody got their ways. From the time I born, I hear about Bradshaw, Simmons, and this and that. Every one of them come to talk about them. So this ain't nothing new, okay?
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you so
and you
much.
have a blessed morning.
You did this.
I'm going to put you on the pellet, okay?
Okay, no problem.
All right.
But that is the thing. That is the thing that I made this point to somebody last night. You know, I made this point to somebody last night. No. I was saying. You realize once you're in that position, it's almost like you should expect certain things.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to some people, Bradshaw was the worst thing ever. You talk to some people, Bradshaw was the savior of the nation.
Indeed.
You talk to some people, Simmons was the man that ushered us into years of prosperity. You talk to some people, Simmons them, well, meaning and say what it is. That's about
Oh dear.
it ain't good.
Oh, it's never good.
You talk to some people, 20 years of prosperity under Douglas, the best thing ever, Papi.
You talk to
You
some-
talk dictator, love, cheat, stranger to the thing. You come to Timothy now, talk to some people, by best prime minister ever. Talk actually the same people.
You can't please everybody, and that is just that. You will never be able to please a country filled with people.
What I'm saying is, we as the electorate make your decision, vote, and not only that, respect other people for the decision they make. Respect
Right.
other people for the decision they make.
Listen, I watching these town halls, right? And one party in particular, I may not if that's how the town hall is supposed to look, eh? But they say convinced it, though.
Let me see what picture you're watching.
That you convincing, but I know you in problems. May I lie to you in problems.
But the town halls are a little different from the public meetings, man. So we're going to see. They said they're running into the public meetings
Finally.
soon. And so we'll see how that goes. But good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Good morning, my cup of tea. I don't know, my cup of bush tea.
Oh, awesome morning.
I'm to keep me chicken. Because remember, I have to be blow in some blows, you know.
Indeed.
A pattern. Oh, yeah. Some fixes I want to make, you know, some fixes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, all right?
Yeah, man, we good. Always better when you call.
Well, I bet to my radio yesterday, right? Yeah, my radio, my phone yesterday. Well, I remember I was watching the minutes go down.
Oh.
It run out.
You run out on you. Yeah, that has happened.
Up and running.
Happened to the best of us.
Behind a glass of money run out. No. My phone always full of food. My phone always up and running. It's just a minute. Maybe I didn't look at it good. So instead of before I plug up, before I started to talk, my minutes run out. Yeah, as Jacqueline was saying, people are saying a lot of things, but I know saying you're good, but not good by game. I mean, not by game when money is good. Okay, yeah, you can. So go my answer every morning and I get me a little cup of tea. I said, oh, yeah, nice. But the day he ain't give me no. I did today, he ain't give me. I'm going to start to cuss with him. I should look at it and say, well, probably he financially low and, must call me.
Auntie. We got to wrap up. We have to jump into something else.
Okay, happy Friday.
Same to you.
Friday. Any demonstration anywhere today?
Not as
Not
far
as I know.
Oh.
Well, Sunday coming again, so we'll see.
Y'all on any board?
No, we're not done, man. We're not done. We're not done at all.
The board of them are breaking mine. Hold on tight to the end. Okay.
You have a good day. You have a great day.
Oh boy. Hey, think it's not a real place. You gotta love it. You got to love it. So they both them are breaking.
You come, let's take a break here. You
Oh
have to jump
boy.
into
Let
some
us stop laughing at
conversations.
people's misery, Jade. Let us stop making light of these situations. Oh boy. But yes, Jade, we're gonna take a short break and be right back with more Island Tea right here on Win Media SKN. Stick and stay, guys.
Everything you want, everything you need, got the taste you love, anywhere that you may be, is the Caribbean flavor. Shirley biscuits make me happy.
Shirley got it all about the flavor. Shirley never let me down. When I lime it at the beach on the town, Shirley biscuits always feel like home.
Everything you want, everything you need, got the taste you love, anywhere that you may be, is the Caribbean flavor. Shirley biscuits make me happy.
Shirley, the Caribbean's favorite biscuit.
Pump it up with Quicks. One pump and you're pumping. Dishes done, you're smiling. Pump it up with Quicks. Keep pumping. Pump it up some more. Pump it up. Grease is gone for sure. Pump it up. All your dishes fixed. Pump it up. Pump it up with Quicks. I don't want a dirty sink. Keep pumping on with Quicks now. Clean that sink. Pump it up some more. Pump it up. Grease is gone for sure. Pump it up. All your dishes fixed. Pump it up. Pump it up with Quicks. Pump it up.
Rams is for you and me. Giving back to community. Rams is for you and me. Better for your family. Better service, better price, better value, better choice. Rewarding you for loyalty. Rams is for you and me. Better price and quality. Everything you want, everything you need, got the taste you love, anywhere that you may be, is the Caribbean flavor. Shirley biscuits make me happy.
Shirley got it all about the flavor. Shirley never let me down. When I lime it at the beach on the town, Shirley biscuits always feel like home.
Everything you want, everything you need, got the taste you love, anywhere that you may be, is the Caribbean flavor. Shirley biscuits make me happy.
Shirley, the Caribbean's favorite biscuit.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere.
Natural hazards and disasters are all around us. They can affect us by day or by night, when we're at work and even at play. Tell me, would you know what to do if the earth starts to quake or the mountains erupt? Well, the best thing to do is to educate yourself on what to do before, during, and after. Your local disaster office can help you with that. Do you have a family plan? If not, please get one. It can save your life and lives of those you love. Community resilience starts with you and me, so do your part to ensure safety.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster.
There's nothing more fulfilling than a hot cup of tea in the morning to get your day started right. Island Tea, that is, with your faves, Kevon and Azem. Tune in to Win Media SKN Monday to Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. for a tall cup of steaming hot conversation on local, regional, and international news, entertainment, pop culture, and of course, up close and intimate interviews with inspiring people from all walks of life. Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Azem, right here on Win Media SKN.
And remember, you can't be everybody cup of tea because you is not a mug.
Good morning, guys, and welcome back to Island T right here on Win Media SKN.
I'm saying that in order to hold them accountable, when they mess up, kick them out and put another set. If they mess up, when you do them, you give them the same treatment. That is the only way things will change.
I believe.
Obviously, when they get in there,
I think that's
they
what
have
we
a
suggested
different
this morning.
perspective.
Yeah, he agreed with us, man.
And don't change things because it suits them not to. So we, the electorate, is going to have to be the ones who hold them accountable and don't make excuses for them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think, and that's why I was pushing the conversation forward by saying that we have to also decide what is important to us as the electorate and not always allow others to tell us what we should care about. I think that's one of the issues as well. But
no, you see, but when you do that, you assume that everybody is as well informed as everybody else, and obviously that is not the case. I mean, look at the case in point here.
No. What I'm saying is you have to decide what is important to you. I can't decide what's important for you. You understand? What I'm saying is, just like how I shouldn't decide what should be important to you, I don't think we should allow the persons who we are just putting in position to decide what should be important for us as well. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that they should take one thing, that they should take one issue or another issue or whatever.
You still have to look at the information presented with. For instance, do you think if people knew all these things that were happening before the last election, 2020, that some people would have made a different decision? Based on what has been happening now and how they've been outing each other, do you think that some people would have made a different decision? People make decisions based on what they know. If they don't know, they can't make an informed decision. Right? And that is where, again, the accountability comes in. If you were an accountable and open, if you had an accountable and open government, you would not have been in this situation. And I hope that the very next time we get the opportunity to correct things, because the electorate gets it wrong sometimes. In a democracy, the people have a right to be wrong. But in a democracy, they also have an opportunity to correct the mistake. Okay? And I really hope that, as I think it was you who pointed out, that this is a watershed time, right? A point of inflection, right? And I really hope that people look at what is at stake here and make the right decision.
All right, man. I appreciate it. All right. Yeah, I think that we really need to take responsibility as the electorate, recognizing that we are in a position to really dictate the way that we move forward. And like I said, a lot of times because when a lot of times, and you know how I know that it seems as though we allow other people to decide what we should care about is when I hear the discussions back and forth between people. It seems as though what I'm hearing is echoes of what's been said by the politicians. It seems like the exact words, it just seems like, okay, you're just repeating. But let's take another caller. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Good morning, good morning.
Morning.
I think you need some made in apple bush, to make some tea.
That's good,
you need some made in apple bush tea. Or some wild tamarind tea. Or some neem.
Yeah, man, you're calling the real thing then, boy.
Yeah, man, them there's tea. People are drinking like me some soursop bush. So that they sleepy still, they're sleeping. You know what I mean? Some people like to my soursop bush. It's quite interesting. Now we're calling for people to know. Most people vote by emotion,
That's true. But
why you think they put on these big concerts and try these big things the night before election? Get your wine up. Listen to the policies, all of them saying the same thing. And good morning, Mr. McMahon, how are you today? You're working hard, boy, you're working hard. You're working hard. Now, if he took what he said seriously, Then every 5 years, then his party, his party wouldn't have gotten 20 years. They wouldn't have gotten 20 years. None would have got 15. So if you look at what is happening now, better late than never. And so when we're talking about, and who do this and who do what, I tell people, there is people that say, they got a different philosophy. You know philosophy by practice. Just like you got religion, by the tree and the fruits. You could talk all kind of things if the fruit does not match the tree. Then it's a grafted tree. You know that's a grafted tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
You graft lemon onto a lime tree.
Mm-hmm.
And then you grafting, you get shaddock. That's what you're presenting to people. You expect people to forget all that is past and to the other one. It's the same thing. People evaluate people sometimes based on what they think. The facts are there, But whenever you present the facts, people say, you ain't like so-and-so. What you have, therefore, is the interpretation of the facts. I could have the facts and you have the facts and you interpret it differently. Those are statistics.
Yeah,
But the numbers.
That is, two people could look at the same numbers and come to two different conclusions.
Yeah, because it's how you compare them. I hear some people, and they lie, and they ain't lie. It's just, you should ask, what was the methodology? So everybody, getting all wound up and whatever. And at the end of the day, as somebody was saying, who benefit the most? Not the most vocal, the most violent, the most patriotic. But you see, when our people are kept in a state of poverty, I keep saying it, it is poverty that have our people the way they are. They are not seeing a way of escape for themselves. So just like our Papa Blatter was the savior, everybody keep looking towards a politician to save them. And some of them, even if they give them a chance to make their own way of escape, they take the easy way out. The easy way out is just to go and tax, blackmail, I call it blackmailing politicians. That's what goes on. Well, if you don't give me this, you ain't going to vote for you. And what do you expect out of that? By asking book your name, you hear? Take me share. You see, like how Jade me care? Jade, you want me share?
No. Enough shares.
If they're giving money, you want me to tell them to Jade for me? You want none?
Nope.
Just say hello. Let me
You
tell
ain't
you.
gonna come straight back in my face, so they give me this and give me that and put me name on Facebook. Me?
Well, the answer to this is when you went in, what did you own? When you went in, and who gave you the power to own the asset of the country? Every citizen is entitled to the asset, I give you, you had land, that was Crown land. I give you a house, and that was an NHC house. But you see, we're not bold enough to say hello. As a citizen of this country, and don't hold yourself up to ransom. Because the truth is that you're enriching them.
There's a culture
How they could give you what they never own?
Yeah, there's a culture of dependence that leads into.
I'm telling you, poverty leads to it. Poverty leads to it.
Yeah.
And it becomes ingrained. When you start to call your leader Papa, that's your father, that's your God, and we continue the same trend.
Yep.
So Papa Harris. Papa Harris, Papa Sean.
Yeah,
Papa Brantley.
But the thing that I think is you see what happens when that goes unchecked. It goes from a culture of dependence to a culture of
mentality
and of entitlement. Because now is your daddy, so you feel like he's supposed to do
he's
things.
Your father.
Yeah.
So like you must look, you don't say, well, my father don't make it. Daddy, I want a car. Daddy, and don't bring that one up there, and I want this one. Your father said, boy, go look a job, go look a work.
But then now that becomes...
he ain't my father, he ain't no good. But they're not doing our people any good, The same American people talk about. You got to work 2-3 jobs just to put one bowl of food on your table. In the big America, In the mighty America, you work for $9 an hour. They're arguing about paying somebody $15 an hour. $7 an hour. For God's sake, where you going to eat? You must got 3, 4, 5, 6 jobs. Down in home in attack, me working for that. That is too small. So it kills the spirit of enterprise in our people.
Yeah.
Just kill the spirit of enterprise. All time there, people got to fish, paid 3, 4, 5 different things to survive. Now our people,
All right.
remember me get the pap. But
Right.
anyway, our people, you understand?
Yeah.
God is your only source. It's their source like yours. They
Hey,
don't
hey,
own
hey,
anything.
hey, stop that. You're not supposed to mix God, church and state. Stop
Yes, but Miss Henry, thank you for your contribution. We have to go because we have to
Anyway,
get ready
well,
for the.
church about God about church and God about state.
Indeed.
Yes, thank you, Miss Henry. We have to go, guys. We have a very important press conference coming up right after ILNT.
You think they're announcing that we get fired, Jade?
We who?
ILNT.
I don't work for the government.
Yeah, everybody work for the government.
Not everybody. So you don't mix me in that. Man on the board. What's man on the board?
They said the board them breaking in.
The board them breaking in. So yes. So guys, as it's been a good show.
It's been a good show. Lots of. I do want to, of course, apologize to our guest. We definitely be scheduled to have you join us again soon.
Yes.
But thank you to the callers who would have taken up the slack and contributed to the show. All the persons online, of course, we have to apologize to you guys as well because the live did go down. But we're back and think we got it all sorted now.
Indeed.
So, yeah, stay locked and stay tuned to Win all day, all weekend. Yes, it is the weekend. Guys, be safe. Be safe. Take some time for yourself. Spend some time with your loved ones. Take some time to tell the people that you care about that you love them. And, of course, get ready to be back with us here on Monday and to go into the next week ready to be productive. But, guys, we're going to leave. We're going to go. We have to disembark. We're going to say bye-bye to everybody who's listening on Facebook, YouTube, winmediaskn.com, and, of course, any of the other digital platforms. Not forgetting the OGs on the FM dial, 98.9. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. And please remember, learn from the losses of others. Please. Hopefully that's what we're doing during this time.
Hopefully.
Because the truth is, I believe that we are the biggest losers.
In all of this. Yes.
In all of this. So hopefully, based on things that we learn, we could somehow become the biggest winners. But guys, of course, spend more time, and this is weekend, guys, spend more time living your content than posting it. And remember, you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mug. See you guys on